Mike the Nutrition Man, and today we're going to talk a little bit about calcium. I am a nutritional consultant, and I think I get more questions about calcium than all other supplements combined. It's very confusing. There's millions of types of calcium out there in the shelves, and people bring them in. What about this? What do you say about that? Now let me just start off by saying the most common thing I get is people coming into me, they've been to their doctor, he's talked to them about calcium, and most of these, by the way, are women, and they say he recommended that I go to the drugstore and get one of these. You've seen the products, so I'm going to go ahead and mention them. Things like Oscal, Citracal, stuff like that. They're usually 600 milligrams of calcium carbonate contained with vitamin D, and you take 2 a day, something like that. And we're going to go into why that is a big mistake, taking a product like that. Also, hitting the market lately is a lot of these coral calciums. Notice my badge I'm wearing today, just say no to coral. Here's a piece of coral, right here. This is a piece of real coral. You think you can digest this? I try to bite that, but it's like a sharp rock. This is a metal pie pan. You think you can digest the calcium in that? That product was advertised on TV as having many benefits, and if you look close at some of the coral calciums, it contains a wide variety of other nutrients, and I think the benefit that people got was from the other nutrients, not necessarily their product. I don't know how well absorbed the actual coral calcium is. That's very questionable. In addition to that, a lot of the ones hitting the U.S. market have been found to have dangerous levels of lead in coral calcium. You can find these studies online. You can see some of this information if you go Google search and go online. You can find that out. And then I'm going to talk about this product, OsteoProCare, made by Lifeforce International. This is a liquid calcium, and whenever you talk about a mineral, absorption is the key. That's the whole trick. And when you can get something put in a liquid versus a tablet or something like this, this is going to absorb 10 times better than anything else you're going to find on the shelf. And we're going to go into sources of calcium. As I mentioned before, the ones in the store are primarily calcium carbonate. When I looked at this product and tried it, the first thing I noticed when I looked at the source of the calcium, it contains calcium orotate. Now, what is orotate? I know because you've never heard of that one before. Orotates were made famous by a famous German-Swiss scientist named Hans Nieper. And in doing research, he discovered when he combined a mineral base with orotic acid and formed an orotate mineral, that form of a mineral penetrated the human cell wall better than any other form of mineral. So calcium orotate is going to be more well absorbed, better than any other form, citrate, carbonate, lactate, all the other different forms out there, gluconate. Orotate is a superior absorption. You will not find this orotate either. You can go in stores and look. That is a rare and expensive form. You won't find that. You can probably find it online. It's hard to get. It's very expensive. It's not going to be in a liquid. Okay, this is a unique product. It's in a liquid. Okay, now these products, as I mentioned before, were calcium carbonate and vitamin D. And I said I will explain why that's a mistake. There's a very important mineral missing from this formula, and that mineral is magnesium. Okay, magnesium is a mineral that you must have to form bone cells and bone marrow and osteoblast cells. Those are the cells that upregulate and build bone. You must have magnesium. And why am I harping about magnesium? Because 80% of Americans do not get the U.S. recommended daily allowance of magnesium, which is around 400 milligrams. I expect the FDA to raise that amount in the next 2 years, because magnesium is very important. It activates 300 different enzyme reactions in the body. There's many enzyme reactions all through your body that if you don't have adequate magnesium, they don't happen, and you're running half mast. You never really feel just right. Also, magnesium is very important. That is known as the blood pressure mineral. Did you know when you have a heart attack, if you go in an emergency room in a hospital, they inject magnesium right into you. They give you an injection. And it relaxes all your arteries and blood vessels, and your blood pressure drops. They kind of call that the blood pressure mineral. Very important. Okay, in addition to that, there's a lot of other minerals needed to build bone, not just magnesium and calcium and vitamin D. There's at least about 8 or 10 other minerals, and this product does contain, it has everything. It has the zinc, magnesium, manganese, copper, molybdenum, chloride. This contains all the other minerals needed to build bone, and once again, it's in a liquid. It also has a an unusual trace mineral called boron. You won't find that in many of the products, and boron keeps calcium in the bone. Now, boron would be extra valuable for someone with osteopenia or osteoporosis. We're primarily talking about women, though my brother, who's a year or two older than me, was recently diagnosed with osteopenia, and he's a runner and a weightlifter, and he lives in a sunny climate. He still has osteopenia, so men do get it too, but primarily a women's concern. Boron would be of extreme importance for them, very important. So I guess the only thing I haven't talked about is, what does this stuff taste like? Well, this is a new improved version from Life Force International. It's a creamy vanilla flavor, and I mean to tell you, the previous one I believe was like a mint flavor. This creamy vanilla is so good. I just want to chug this. You're supposed to take 2 tablespoons a day. Don't chug it like me. Take the 2 tablespoons, but I just want to chug it. It's that good. OsteoProCare. What's good for your bone?